Hey YouTube, yeah, you'll probably be getting sick of this guitar. Maybe not today, tomorrow, depends when the videos go out. I've done, this is the third one I've done out since I put it back up again. This is actually a request, which I was kind of going to do anyway because I thought about it. Right, so there's my 1986 RG530 BP Ibanez. When I got the corker, whoever built this, Mr. Corker himself, he's seen an Ibanez before. It's really quite a similar shape, really, isn't it? Okay, it's got these hooks, which as soon as I saw this guitar, I saw them and thought, oh, it's like kind of the hooks in the Ibanez. Not quite, a little bit more so, but very much a similar sort of thing. A very similar guitar, same scale length. Maybe it's just the binding on it, which makes it, okay, this has got a contour on it, but you know, is it the binding in the flat top, which makes it quite similar? But ultimately, okay, this is a hardtail. I mean, there's differences. I can justify having the two. So I'm going to kind of shoot the two out together, bearing in mind that both these guitars are mine forever and I will never part with them and I love them both. I want both. There's no which one. Put it there. So with my new cheers for that 5-string bass came with this extra hook, which means I can put 3 guitars on the wall there. Can't do it there because they're not well enough secured, but that one's straight onto the frame, the house frame, so that one does work. So multiple switching options on both of them. Technically, this does have a 2-octave neck, 24 frets. The corker only has 23. Right. It's like, yeah, anyone else got a 23 fret guitar? And obviously this one has a Floyd Rose on it. But 2 humbuckers, multi-switching. So the corker has a 6-position switch. This has a 3-position switch, but it's also got a push-pull pot, which splits each pickup. So both guitars do neck humbucker, bridge humbucker. Both guitars do neck single coil, bridge single coil. Both guitars do, I'm not sure which coils because I didn't actually split the coils on this one. This came stock, so this one, the corker does. So that's the 6 sounds on the corker are this as a humbucker or a single coil on its own. This is a humbucker or a single coil on its own, or the outside coils or the inside coils. So that's the 6 sounds this does. Whereas this one does more than that. So it's got, yeah, it's got one more. So it's got, this is a neck is a humbucker, neck is a single coil, bridge is a humbucker, bridge is a single coil. Both of them as humbuckers. That one doesn't do that. Both of them as single coils. Unsure whether it's inside or outer coils, but this one, so that's them actually basically at the same. That's the same number. That says at 6 on this, but this one also has. You can have humbucker in the neck and single coil in the bridge, or humbucker in the bridge and single coil in the neck. So it does actually do something else, but navigating them slightly easier than that, because to change to any sound on that, from any sound to any sound, is just a case of flipping that switch. Whereas on this one, to change from any sound, it could be, you know, it's like I want to change from that, so it's like, oh, there you go, that's me just changed from humbucker and single to single and humbucker sort of thing. Or, you know, it's like neck, there's 2 things to do. You know, if you want to go from bridge humbucker to neck single coil, you have to go to the neck and then pull the pot up. So there's a bit more to it than that. So I'll only use the sounds that both guitars do. Yeah, that seems like a sensible way of doing it. I've not turned the amp on yet. The guitars both sound different unplugged. I don't know how loud you can hear it, but so I just. And then we could put both these on at the same time. Can be done. This is twice the volume. So that whole thing about is this the tone wood debate again? It's a tone debate of some description. So this isn't plugged in. Doesn't sound like this guitar. So it's not all about the pickups. Someone actually posted the other day, yesterday, on one of the pages called it up here. It's 95%. It's 5% bodywood and pickups, and it's 95% player. Was it whatever it was? It wasn't as much as that. It was 80% the fingers and 10% build and 10% pickups or whatever it was. I kind of don't. In some ways, yes, but if you gave me, who plays the guitar, a guitar that only had one string, I could probably play that better than somebody who's never played the guitar before and has the best guitar, has a 10 grand custom guitar. I could probably make the guitar with one string and one pickup sound better, because it's kind of all in the fingers. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I think the message I saw, the comment, the post I saw, was something like 50% fingers, 20% amp, 10% pickups. I don't know how you divide it up, but definitely you need all the things together. But this definitely does not sound the same. So this, I suppose, woods. This is a mahogany neck, maple fretboard, my walnut body, single piece walnut body. This is maple neck, basswood body. To be honest, I think the reason these two guitars sound different is mostly due to the fact it's got Floyd Rose, because this is fixed, so the whole guitar is vibrating, whereas the bridge on the Floyd Rose is floating. Really, you can actually hear it a little bit. See, when I've noticed this more so. This is an RG, but more so with the RG. If you absolutely batter it, you can kind of hear the bridge going brrr a wee bit if you hit it a certain way. So I mean, it's got a brrr to it. It's alright when you play it softly, but it's got a brrr because it goes up and down. But if I turn on this, single coils first, I suppose. So neck pickup. I'm going to try and do this pause and swap the guitar thing. Can't do that in corker. Next single coil. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and argue that that one sounds better, this one sounds better. But it's kind of, it's amazing how it is. Okay, it's all the pickup. You've seen that viral video where the guy's just got like two benches and he puts a string across it, so you get the tone from the pickup. This guitar sounds like it did unplugged, apart from now it's amplified. Definitely has a thing. How much of that's to do with the wood? I mean, walnut's not known as it's not one of the preferred tone woods. It's not mahogany for the depth, and then maple cap for the brightness. It's none of that. It's just walnut, which is, I assume, I don't know if it's rare or expensive. I don't know. You just don't see very many walnut guitars. I think one of the problems with it is my pal Jess is building guitars. He just built a guitar. It looks fucking amazing. Look him up on Facebook. He sent me a link back. No, he did. He said you could find it. But he's just built a walnut guitar, and he got it from like an enthusiast guy who died. He was a woodworker. So getting a piece of wood big enough to build a guitar, or to build it out of 2 bits, probably isn't that difficult. But if you're talking about trying to get 1,000 bits of wood, you probably can't do that. So that's why you get guitars like this, you know, sort of handmade one-offs that are made of silly woods. It's very expensive. It's very to get one's not too hard, but to get more than one might not be feasible, especially not to get 1,000. Do you know what I mean? You can probably get one bit of walnut or half a dozen bits, but you're not going to get 1,000 to make a proper run. Yep. So middle position. This is the inner coils, I think. And that's the outer coils. That's the bigger one. Actually, they are both different. So middle position. And middle position on this one, which, as I said, I don't know. Oh! I think this sounds more Fendery than that one does. Maybe more neutral. It's a different sounding guitar. That does have DiMarzio pickups in it. This has got stock Ibanez ones, which are pretty good anyway. But what you tend to find with the stock pickups in any Ibanez, they're kind of in the middle and they tend to do everything. You know, it's like you buy a guitar like this, it's like, I want to play jazz on it, yeah. I want to play metal on it, yeah. You know, it's like, so whereas it's not a specific, oh, I just want metal pickups. You know, pretty much all Ibanez, well, maybe not some of the 7-string ones that are, you know, painted black with skulls on them. They might have heavy metal pickups under them, but most of the, you know, your RG ones, the ones you think are being pointy, have kind of good middle, good do everything pickups. But I think this is sounding more stratty, but that might be something to do because obviously a Strat trem's not the same as a Floyd Rose, but there is that slight wobbliness. Single coil in the bridge. So we're now on to bridge single coil on this one. Oh, I touched the tone control there from the previous one. Damn it. So that was the middle position was. I think maybe the tone made more difference than the guitar did. It just sounds very similar in this position to that one. Not a huge difference between inner and outer coils, has to be said. Yep, so bridge pickup. But this one is wired to the wiring. This was a mess. I think it made sense. It was described in the reverb ad, but it didn't make any sense when you were working. It was like the bridge pickup was always on no matter what you did, and you're like, what? So I wired it up my way. So currently we're using this coil on this guitar, and I flipped this pickup round. I did some complicated stuff. I've probably done a video on that at some point. But so the bridge pickup on this one, which is, I'll be honest, is not a sound I ever really used on this guitar. I tend to use all the other sounds. It's the least used sound on this guitar, the single coil in the bridge. Right, what I think won't make as much difference is, oh, there's no reverb on. I'm playing without reverb. So, but that's because of the, so if I go into the dirty channel on the amp, still the bridge single coil. The bridge humbucker in this, so this is a true tone, so it says tone in it, so it must be good. So I'm trying to do a wee bit of playing up high fret, see which one's better fret access. This has a funny, a really weird neck join, which I've never seen before anywhere. It looks incredibly complicated and sharp, but it's totally not. It's got this wee pad, you can get it so you can see it. There's a wee square bit you put your thumb on, and it means you can play it really high, but you've got like, it's like an anchor point for your thumb. Someone's thought about this. I need to contact the shop that built it and see if the guy's still alive, just to say all these things, because I mean, a lot of people wouldn't notice that. Because I'm such a geek, I did totally notice that there's lots of wee things about this guitar that have been thought about, and you go, oh, things that have been thought about and done, no expense. You know, it's kind of like me when I'm doing the wiring. Somebody's done this as almost as an experiment to see if it's possible, and there's a lot of inefficient things in this, to the point of how much extra does it cost to make the binding disappear there like that. Probably quite a lot. It's not economically viable to do it on a modern guitar, because okay, it looks a bit better, but does it really need it? No, and it just adds hundreds of dollars onto the price of the build. But I mean, but it's still there, you know, and other things as well, like the crazy binding, and is it actually worth it to get that that maple stripe? Because there's a maple fretboard, and then it's got binding on top of it, but it leaves some of the fretboard through the bottom, and it's like, to be honest, it's totally worth it, because it looks cool as fuck when you're playing it. Gotta do some of the metal on it. Not that, wait a second, our Sabbath metal. Got a 737 going down tonight. You know runway nights. Radio operator. Got some underground lights on, 'cause we were singing night. Both on separate flags. Going nowhere. This guitar's awesome, but so is that one. Better pick up that one next. Right, bridge humbucker. Oh! Actually, that thing about reaching the top of the fretboard with it's just got a standardy type. Wonder what that was. It's a sticker. Big deal. Warranty invalid if removed. So I'm going to leave that on. So I don't want my warranty from Big Deal to go. And then I'm not going to do both pickups at the same time, because that guitar, the corker, doesn't do that. So next. And neck pickup on this one. I have to say that the neck profile on this is very similar to that. It does change a little bit when you get higher up, because this seems, I mean, I bet you it's like a millimetre different. This, like a normal guitar, seems to get thicker as you go up, whereas this doesn't seem to get thicker. It's the same. It's kind of the same dimensions here as it is here, which is a strange thing. This is a DiMarzio Super Distortion 2. Yeah, so I actually quite enjoyed doing that. It was only meant to be 10 minutes, it's now 20, but there you go. Guitars are different. Which one's better? Well, I'm going to have to pick, I suppose, the hand-built one-off with all the most expensive parts on it, rather than a relatively budget Ibanez. It's not the top of the range ones. There were more expensive ones. This is the deluxe model. It does have a very nice finish on it. I do love this guitar, but I love this one as well. I think I can have both, because that one's got a Floyd Rose. That was actually my original. I think a lot of people do this. I started off, I gave up doing it years ago. Blacktooth Fox did this as well. It's like I needed a guitar with a Floyd Rose in case I needed one for recording. So I only ever really had one Floyd Rose guitar. I've got a couple more now because I've kind of got used to them. I actually quite like them. But, to try and do different things. Both of these, I suppose, are very similar guitars in the sense of what they can do, because they're both sort of similarly hot-rodded wiring, and they're both, I suppose, like it's like a Gibson Strat, I suppose. So this one you've got like, call that as a Gotoh bridge, but call that a Gibson bridge and then Gibson pickups, but Fender scale length. This is also Gibson weight. This is like 4 kilograms. This is not that much lighter, but I mean it's not as heavy. So this is a basswood body with a maple neck and a rosewood fingerboard. How much all these things difference make, I don't know. Also, I mean, am I playing them slightly differently as well? Well, actually, 3.8 kilograms. That's actually quite a heavy guitar. It doesn't feel it. It doesn't look it. The 3.8's, this is 4. So it's only 200 grams different. So this being a heavy guitar and this being a... Now that I've mentioned it, that it's actually quite heavy. It's actually quite heavy. I wonder why. I wonder if it's the Floyd Rose weighs a lot. Because it's basswoods might be quite light. Maple, I suppose, is quite heavy. Yeah. Interesting. So basically you can have lots of guitars. I might have to do a shootout between this and the Kraken, because they're quite different guitars, but I mean it's like one of those things, it's what is it you're actually after. I don't have this magical sound in my head that I'm trying to hunt down. I just like playing a guitar and seeing what it does, and and it's like, do I like the sound of like a Telecaster bridge pickup over like a neck humbucker? And it's like, I'm not over, they're both good. I like, can I have both please, kind of thing. This really is a stunning guitar. I don't think this guitar is fully played in yet. I think similar to what happens with strings, the worst thing you can do with strings on your guitar, which I used to always find with acoustic strings, which is why I've not really been playing acoustic very much, is you put the strings on and you play it, and then you just leave it for months and then pick it up again. It's shite. Whereas if you play it constantly through that time, it stays up. I'm really noticing that with Tarada acoustic, the more I play it, the better it gets. I think it's more applicable to acoustic guitars. You know, if you've got a guitar, it doesn't matter how good it is, if it's just been sitting in its case for 10 years not being played, I bet that, well, you clean it up, put strings on it, I bet in a month's time after playing it sounds much better than it does when you first clean it up, just because it vibrates and dust comes out of pores and all that stuff. I think more so in acoustics. You think about the inside of an acoustic's all bare wood, so as in wood from a bear, yeah. So when there's dust and shit gets into it, and it vibrates more to create the sound, whereas this is all, it's all sealed. So, but it's still, there's still elements of that in it. Yes, I do like this. I do like both of these guitars. These are on my, you'll have to prize them from my cold dead fingers category of guitar. Also noticing there that I was using the dirty channel. Well, I think when you put that amount of distortion on, there's less difference between any guitar. That's why that's kind of why I'm not using the rat pedal, because the rat pedal's quite, well, it's not bad for that. There is a difference because I'm so used to the rat pedal. There is a, there is a difference when you play like a Strat compared to a Les Paul through the rat pedal, but it's not as obvious a difference as it is when you're playing them clean or with like a transparent sound. The rat pedal's a bit of an even out or fuzzer, makes it sound like a rat. But there is a difference. I mean, a good guitar through a rat pedal does sound better than a shit guitar through a rat pedal, but it's not as obvious. The clean is really where the difficulty lies. What the hell's going on there? Oh, I've hit the wrong switch there. It's that one. Yeah. No, it's taking me a wee bit. I'm not quite used to using the overdrive in the amp yet. There's a wee switch on the front for clean and dirty, and I switched it manually. If I didn't, I wouldn't buy a pedal, I don't think, to do it, because I can just go click. That's just as easy as stomping on it. The problem is it's got to be set to dirty, and then when you turn the amp on, that light's on. You have to stomp on it twice to make it work. So now it's basically dirty channel doesn't have a red light. I don't know if you can see the red light. Dirty, clean's got a red light. I did wire the pedal from a pedal that didn't suit, so I've made a mess of it, but it still works. It just means it's kind of weird having, if you've got a light, an LED that comes on, you would expect that to be on the overdrive channel, and then for clean to not have the red light, it's the other way around. Wonderful. So, basically, which one of these should you buy? Well, I would buy the Ibanez because you've got a chance of finding it. I'm not selling this. You might not be able to get one in this exact colour because it's a fancy one, but you can get it in other colours. My pal, Mr. Whitesnake's got a cherry red one. Yeah, which is lovely. Same guitar. I mean, all the things that matter are the same. Also, someone commented on the video of it yesterday saying they've got an RG530, which, as far as I can tell, is exactly the same guitar again. Apart from it's like rounded, it doesn't have the, I think the neck's not painted and the headstock's not painted, and it's rounded instead of this. Yeah, this is kind of like square because it's got binding, so it's rounded and doesn't have binding, but it's the same guitar. All the things that matter are the same. Just then again, I wouldn't have bought that one if I'd seen it. I didn't know anything about these guitars. I knew Japanese guitars were good, But I saw this and went, oh, I'm having that. I had no idea what a Roadster was. I was vaguely aware that Blazers existed, but it was when I saw this one, it was like, no, I'm having that. And that was purely down to how cool it looks. There was no knowledge of, you know, if it had... I would probably... Well, would have bought it if it was any make. So maybe that's what makes a difference. Looking cool is important. Totally is. But also it's really nice when you get one that's very... I don't know. This has got much more character to it than that, I think, when you're listening to it on its own. Like plugged in clean. This has more character. That's a bit more neutral, maybe. But that's where it comes into. If you're going to run it through a set number of effects and all that stuff, maybe the neutral thing is actually better, because you can probably manipulate that more to do whatever you want. Whereas this one, oh, you've got this sound, you know, it might not be as manipulatable. That might just all be tosh. Anyway, rock on, like and subscribe, and I love you all.